Paralives must have known that I was about to make a video on them because they have just given us some more news. Now, over the past 5 years, I've been slowly watching the development of Paralives, and I actually haven't done like an everything you might have missed about Paralives update in a hot minute, pretty much since summer of last year. And trust me, there is an awful lot to catch up on, including the release date trailer. Now, obviously, this is at first releasing in early access. I was meant to do a video about this, and then I went away and like completely forgot that this trailer actually dropped. So today we're going to be looking at their Twitter, we're going to be looking at their Patreon, and just checking out all the bits and bobs that you might have personally missed, and I definitely did when it comes to Paralives. Of course, we are going to watch that release date trailer. The early access release is December the 8th, 2025. That has not changed to my knowledge. I'm fairly sure it is still releasing in early access on that date. You can obviously currently wishlist this. I actually think they just reached like over 1 million wishlists, which is absolutely wild. Honestly, probably watching this on their Patreon would be better in terms of quality, because Twitter absolutely decimates it, especially when you have as many tabs open as I currently have open. But we have Emil and Victoria. We can jog, talk. Oh my god, they are sprinting. Of course, we're seeing the usual Paralives build and buy mode, which is where you can just like click and drag things. This to me, when it comes to building, is going to be very, very useful. Also, they've done what I enjoy, and I know some people are like, why would you put a window inside, like to another room? I think it sometimes looks really, really cool to have a window actually within like stationary walls within like an apartment or a room. Imagine if you can like change the height of this giraffe. You could just make the neck like as long as possible. But as someone who is not a builder, I think also just like having the customization of fitting things like into a space and making it look like it was actually made for that space has always been a really cool part of Paralives. The way they're sitting is so interesting. I definitely feel like life sims have always gone for like kind of one animation, like a bog standard animation for like sitting, and it doesn't make like the characters really feel that much alive. Like everyone sits differently depending on like your traits, honestly even depending on like your age, how comfortable you are. Now of course I don't think they're going to take into account like how comfortable is this position for like long hours. Like I don't think it's going to be that serious, but I do imagine that they have taken, when it comes to animations like this, like traits into consideration. This also looks like one of those lizards that has like really heavy beans in them. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. Looking up at what seems to be the clouds, got some pizza over here, some croissants and baguettes. Would obviously love it if we could actually have a picnic and that is usable. And then also a couple of books around here. Oh, the sun cream on that para's face. The animation of this para checking their shoe is like so funny. Market Antiques, family owned, purchase, sale, auctions. I do wonder if like Paralives is gonna have like townies. I wonder if there are gonna be like actual people who like own this shop and like run this shop, and like you can start to build up a relationship with them over time. And then we have what looks to be a clothes shop. I would love it if some clothes were like locked and then you had to actually go out and like buy them. I love that realism in like any game, to be completely honest. You've got the coffee shop. The way this beanie fits, fan of that for sure. This para also seems to have a lip piercing. We've already seen like the curved walls. We've seen the walls being placed like not even on a grid system, and you kind of just being able to place them like off kilter. Very customizable for sure. It will be interesting to see kind of the limitations of like what you can put on here. I'm noticing that none of them actually have windows, so it feels like curved windows might not be a thing, but also like not really much decoration on them. So it will be interesting to see if like curves walls definitely have more of a limitation. Then you have more of like your traditional kind of like big family home, like very, very fancy. This para looks like they are sat on the back of the sofa. There is a little bit of clipping. Usually in video games, I can like just look over clipping if it means that the game like runs better. I would always prefer like things like this to actually be possible with a little bit of clipping. I know some people might not be a fan of that because obviously it can like interrupt like screenshots and stuff. We also have a para playing the flower pillow. That is super cute. Love this wallpaper as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, so this is like a para aging and like going through their life. This is interesting. Moving out, like building their own family and home. We got a little washing machine over here. Loving the European representation of a washing machine in the kitchen. We got some art. I love the lines, like the elder paras. I've always liked the style of Paralives. I'll be the one to say it. I know a lot of people don't, but I really like the stylization. Oh, the little toddler hug. I will say some of the animations still do feel like a little slow motion, but I don't know whether that's maybe like for trailers or if that is actually like the case of what it is going to be within the game. We have, okay, I remember seeing a lot of people talking about that, like crying on the bathroom floor. Then we have a little argument going on. Oh, stop, they're so cute. Stop it. And then the child comes down to like, yeah, comfort the mum. But again, that animation like feels quite slow, as does like the slow dancing. I think I'm really gonna have to like test it out in the game to see how it feels. Sometimes I feel like Sims custom animations that are like part of mods also feel slightly slowed down. And then we also, of course, got the announcement of some features that are set to release when early access comes out and which ones they're kind of holding off on a little bit. They also haven't given us the PC requirements yet. They said they will come closer to early access because they are currently in the process of like adding content and also optimization. But available for day one of early access: open world town, work, rabbit holes, and career progression, personality traits, emotions, needs, wants, skills, relationship development, aging and death, and having children. That is nice to see. Character autonomy, which we will get into because they have posted a little bit about that. Doing anything as a group. That'll be interesting. Like going, obviously those two paras like were running together. It'll be interesting to see what else they can do like as a group. Shops, restaurants, museums. Sorry, I'll move my face up here for the rest of the video. But considering they said that the work was going to be rabbit holes, I'm assuming that they aren't going to be, and you'll actually be able to go. Yeah, we already saw the coffee shop. So of course I would also like these to all be like usable. Cooking system, I would like to know if maybe there are jobs like a barista that isn't rabbit holes, but I feel like probably not. I feel like you probably can't work in that coffee shop. Bills and house fires, and then modding tools, which is wild that from like day dot we're gonna be able to like mod our games. I'm excited to see what modders can actually do with this. 3 updates during early access, so weather and seasons, calendar and family tree. So no family tree in the beginning, which I know some people are probably going to be a little bit disappointed by. Dogs, cats and horses, cars, bikes, boats and houseboats, swimming, story progression for NPCs. That is unfortunate. I would have loved to see that at launch, but as long as it can come in the future, they do say this is all coming in free updates, so fingers crossed that is the case. Organizing social events, so no parties and weddings from day one. Tools to edit and create towns. Okay, interesting that is planning on coming, because I think that adds such like longevity to games, especially if you are then able to upload them as like a mod and just have like custom worlds. Those were always one of my favorite things about The Sims 3. Genuinely, I might go back and like download some custom worlds for The Sims 3 because it's been a really long time since I played with those. The last time I pretty much played with them was like when I was doing like Sims 3 religiously on my channel. More personality traits, wants, emotions, everyone's jobs. So this is pretty much just like all consuming of like the stuff that isn't available like from the get-go. This is just like all consuming the stuff that is technically available, but they just want to like add more onto it. Color wheel for everything. So this is build mode. Flexible wall placement. So that's everything we've seen in build mode so far. Optional grid for wall placement. Split level platforms. Building multiple floors. Moving existing walls. Object resizing. Stairs and roof placements and fences. Advanced roofing tools not included. Advanced stair tools not included. So that makes me think that you can't do like spiral staircases or like actually like change the direction of staircases. I think they're just going to be like pretty like bog standard stairs. Placing windows and doors on curved walls. They didn't say anything about wall decor, but that one was definitely easy to notice. Basement tools, pools, and more furniture and objects. And then for the Paramaker, color wheel for everything. Those of you who love getting to grips with the new customization system, congratulations besties, you have a full color wheel. Height slider, body and face sliders, tattoo placement tool. Please be a custom tattoo placement. Like, let me decide on like the location, the size, the rotation, all of that. Layering and mixing of tops. Yes, give me layers, I beg. Asymmetry for eye color, socks, and more. Okay, so they haven't actually said for like face sliders there'll be asymmetry. I know that's like something that people have been wanting to see like future life sims kind of take on. And then a genetic system. They're not in it yet, but hopefully coming during early access. Creating pets, creating and managing multiple outfits. Ooh, little bit of a bummer about that one. I at least giving like 2 or 3 outfits, which I think you'll be able to do it for like different categories, but you just won't be able to have multiple outfits under those categories. Editing the genetics of a para with advanced tools and more clothing items, hairstyles, and accessories. This one I'm super interested in. This is all about the social interactions between paras. Some options called together cards have variants. You get to express different intentions through a given card. So I kind of want to see how this works. So we have, I'm assuming this is the sim that's maybe doing the interaction. We have the option to talk about the weather, talk about TV shows, talk about politics, compliment outfit, share controversial opinion, brag about fulfilling want, talk about piano, talk about interest, compliment hairstyles. But then compliment outfit flirty, compliment outfit ironic. So that feels like kind of mean. And then we select the target, and then yeah, they get upset over that comment. This is kind of, I'm assuming, like a little emotion, like mood system. And then maybe the percentage that was shown is actually like the relationship that they have. Let's see if that in fact goes down when they like compliment it ironically. Oh no, it said +2, but it said +2 to sadness, I think. Also, real quickly, the UI, I'm kind of liking the way that the UI looks. It looks very minimalistic. Also looks like there is a perfect space up in the top right corner for me to place my face cam whilst I'm playing it. But you have like up a level, down a level. No idea what the rest of these are. I'm assuming this is like play, pause the music, and then favorite like a song, perhaps. They feel like they've gone really hard on the soundtrack of Paralives. And then this is maybe like your notifications. You can also like take screenshots. Some solar panels are down here. Will be interesting to see if they actually have an effect on like the build system or whether they are just kind of as like a decorative item. We really are going to have so much to explore when this game does drop on December the 8th, but they kind of describe it in their Patreon. Some together cards have multiple variants, can make their para folks express different intentions. The interface icons and colors are still a work in progress, like the rest of the game. Obviously, releasing in early access, they will continue to work on it. I, of course, will be playing it whilst it is in early access and like covering Paralives so that you lot can like check out what is going on, what does interest you, what doesn't interest you. And I also think, obviously, I'm going to have feedback about this game, and I also know that you lot are probably going to have feedback about this game. Making an ironic compliment could make other para folks in the conversation embarrassed, angry, or sad. Could it be offered together cards to insult the specific para that was rude to them? For those who are curious, para folks can insult someone about many things, including the context of the conversation or the personality of the para. If you feel like insulting someone because they are not as skilled as you in cooking, if they have a lower paying job, that's so rude. Yeah, just call me jobless. Or if you want to fully blame them for the house being dirty, you can. Not there's an animosity in the air. They said, honey, you got a big storm coming. If a relationship between two para folks has the enemy label, it will unlock more together cards and more ways to reflect this special relationship dynamic. I truly hope that the autonomy is also affected by that. Please make it so that if you are mean to a para, they aren't like instantly obsessed with you the next second later. Personality trait evolutions. My para is a Pokemon. Completing once gives you personality points. When you have enough points, level up your personality and choose one evolution. Level 1, you start after you've selected personality traits for your new character. Pick one vibe trait evolution, one social trait evolution, one talent trait evolution. Rachel's music talent, sleep learning. Sleeping will slowly increase your music skills. Everyone learns music skills faster when in a group with you. I really hope there's like a negative effect on that. I've always said that I feel like The Sims 4 feels too easy, and I would love some more difficulty in a life simulation game. This to me right now is just like words, but I'm excited to see how like that actually affects the game. Modders will be able to add their own interactions with the scoring conditions and priority tools the way they want. That's really, really cool. Maybe I get into modding, because I always felt like overwhelmed with The Sims because like there was already modders, and there has been for like the longest time in the community, and I just felt like I was like so behind. Do I get into modding for Paralives? This is what they actually just posted yesterday. A teen and an older woman placing a phone order. Notice any difference? Well, one, I notice the height difference already. This teen is a little bit shorter, little Tony over here. Call another para, find a job, order flowers. Ooh, you can pin interactions. So like if it's an interaction that you're doing a lot, that's kind of cool. I've always wanted more customization when it comes to like the actual like UI. This I'm assuming is like their needs, but you have hygiene, toilet. I'm assuming this is a bed, so this is sleep, and then food. I wonder if this will be the only 4 that are available. So you maybe don't have like a fun one or like a socialization one. We do have the happy mood over here. Play video games or check social media. So Tony is gonna order some flowers, and then Florence, was that a sneeze or a cough? She can order pizza, cleaning service, repair service, or flowers. Why couldn't Tony do that? Why couldn't Tony do all of that, hey? But we're also going to have her order some flowers. Wait, did Tony, like, did the teen just, like, use their phone? Like, yeah, on the internet. They were just ordering online, and then she actually rang it through. Cute. That is really, that is fun. Like, she actually typed out a phone number, and then that was a very quick interaction. That was a very quick phone call. But that is cool. Depending on their age, they do things slightly differently. Oh, love this outfit. Also love this hair. These two are stunning paras. Ooh. That looked like maybe a flirt fail. Okay, so it does actually say down here. I was going to say that looked like she got turned down. Talk mean interaction. So she kind of has a like sad look about her, or like a disappointed look. This is the neutral talking. Listening to someone variation. Okay, kind of an active listener. We love to see that. I will say there's not like loads of movement on the face, just because it does have that like more brush look about it. So like the cheeks and stuff kind of stay the similar kind of like placement, but the jaw does move, obviously the lips move, the blinking. I actually think this looks like pretty realistic for not having like obviously all the muscles in the face move. Like, you can definitely see kind of the way that they are talking feels like realistic. Like, the way that they're moving is actually super cute. The talk friendly with baby on the floor, I wish there was maybe like a couple more like interaction, like holding their hand or something like that. Just because I feel like them just lying there and you not interacting with them apart from like talking at them isn't super realistic, but that's just me being picky. These are the idol animations, which I feel like I always have beef with idol animations. I really hope that idol animations don't actually interrupt when you're like doing a specific task or something. I just don't have the best feeling about idol animations. I know, again, it can look really robotic when like they are just stood there not doing anything, but yeah, I really hope that these don't like, it feels like they're very much like just moving into them, like kind of robotically anyway, but that could be different in the game. Like, this is obviously just like flowing through these animations just to kind of show them off. Like, these are just programmed to run through them. Overjoyed vibe. I don't know if I'm getting overjoyed from that. I'm getting overjoyed a little bit more from that one, doing their little dancey dance. They also look like they are absolutely in their element. They are 100% vibing. The gloomy vibe. Okay, I was gonna say, looked maybe a little bit angry at the start, but definitely just looks like disappointed. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. What nobody wants to hear. I like the little dances that they do. I really hope they don't feel out of place, but for right now, I am loving the way that they look. I'm just worried as to how they're actually like gonna fit into the actual gameplay. We've kind of talked about the trailer and the gameplay. Now we're gonna look at the world. Building a whole town is a lot of work. We're excited for you to discover it in December. So you kind of have like this row of houses over here, then you have more so like the town square. These are kind of like the shops in the little like town center bit, and then you obviously like have the zoom in of the town through here. It'll be interesting to see like how many houses and stuff there are and like families. Ooh, this is actually the full map. So the town center, where is that? Is that like here on the map? Okay, but what's this blue bit? I'm confused by what that is showing, honestly. Or is that where all of this is? Like, it fits into there. And then this, like, more kind of built up, like, a slightly more industrial area is over here, whereas this feels a little bit more quaint, like, kind of, like, town square vibes. Red areas that have not changed much or at all since the trailer. In blue, the areas that have been modified heavily, but that's because we made them more interesting. A lot of variation and elevation in the town. I don't know. I don't know if I noticed, like, a lot of elevation. Oh, this kind of shows the elevation a little bit more. So they say like make this steeper. So that's kind of the elevation that they're talking about. Raise street so it doesn't clip. Make sure it's wide enough but not too much. Lots should follow the street. So potentially like buildings around here. We have the antique shop and then also the like, I'm going to assume if this isn't antiques, maybe this is like secondhand clothing, like vintage store. And then up here, maybe an apartment, or maybe this is just like a place to hang out like above that shop. Oh, there's the elevation. Okay, yeah, definitely I can see that. So this is like a ramp coming up here. That makes more sense. So this area that I called like the village square is the old town, and then I think you are gonna have the more like slightly built up area. They haven't gone with like an in-game language. The hairdressers are next to it as well. I wonder if you can actually like go in and like change your hair. That will be fun. Again, I love stuff like that. Like actually being able to go into these places and like go get your hair cut and like get to know your hairdresser or like get to know your florist. And then like placing an order like we just saw in that animation actually does get up your relationship with the florist. Speaking of haircuts, more hairstyles and clothes and accessories for para folk. Do seem to be getting prosthetics. We can see a leg over here with the Converse on, a couple of choker necklaces. This takes me back. And then this little hat and glasses on this kid. I still love the freckles. I think the freckles look looks so good in Paralives. Also love that we're getting this representation. I'm so glad that this is being included from the get-go. We also have hearing aids that you can see here. You can also wear them with earrings by the looks of it. This is just kind of the shading, like under this section of the neck. Also body hair as well. Cute beanie with pom-poms. I have one of those in like bright orange. I am wearing it to pick pumpkins this weekend. A deer hat inspired for adorable ears, not only for children. Interesting to see the hairs under the hats as well. And I actually really like the way the hats fit, like where they come down to and like where they cover. The fact that you can wear earrings with hearing aids and then also wear a hat on it as well. They really threw that out there. They were like, don't worry, you can layer things. Crop tied shirt in the front works with layering and patterns for a more fun look. That's one thing I am intrigued to see. If the color wheel in like the Paramaker and stuff has different patterns on, the way like we had in The Sims 3. You can also layer this with like a top underneath it. I hope that there's like multiple tops that you can layer this with as well. Like maybe if you don't want to show your tummy at all, then there's an option to do that. I would maybe like a little bit more detail on this tie. Which when I say stuff like this, I know we're not even at the release of the game yet, and we're also going to be releasing in early access. These things can always change, but that's the reason I give critiques. Like, I think things like that can change, and I'm glad to give, like, my opinion when I would like to see something maybe, like, done a little bit differently. And whilst I would love games to, like, release in their full capacity, I do also appreciate that early access does open that up to, like, a broader community to give their feedback. It'll be interesting to see like between like gender frames and stuff how the Paramaker actually works. Of course, I would always love to see integration on working on different frames between like masculine and feminine. Hearing aids in the game, I'm gonna assume that they are just cosmetic. I don't think they'll really have gameplay tied to them. I would obviously love to see, have we seen a para doing like sign language? I don't think we did. 3 new piercings around the nose piercing, that's cool. We have a vampire piercing and a lower lip piercing. I really hope that you can like also just like choose a side that you want that on for like more customization. Small loop earrings, the wireless earbuds, and a classic metal watch. That does look slightly distorted to me, just the way that it's like sitting, but it could just be like the sketch. Vaguely inspired by French fashion stores while still being located and coherent with the rest of the plaza. Yeah, but are we able to use it? For now, it hasn't been confirmed if this building will be a rabbit hole or not. I don't know. I feel like that still hasn't been confirmed, unless we've maybe seen the inside shots. They also were still hiding the antique store by this point, but now we got to see it. We've added more for our party loving para. This hair is absolutely stunning. Look at the colors on that. This makes me feel like there's also a color wheel for like hairs. Love this little like blouse as well. And then you've got like, hello, Ren Faircore. Definitely some like old school clothing as well, like corsets and stuff, which I think is nice that we're getting this kind of stuff from the get-go. I definitely don't think it's going to be everyone's flavor. He was wearing these fugly jeans. Anytime I see jeans with like any like ribbing on them, that's the only line I can ever think of. Yes. Yes. As it should be. The like hair, I'm sorry, but we need more like balding or like buzz cut hairs in life simulation games, and I'm so glad that this is being looked at. Also, the like beard looks really good. And then we got a little look at the babies and toddlers and the kind of stuff that they're eating their foot. This is also something I'm really interested in, like the age progression and like what like smaller paras can actually do. They have this like stacking toy, the messy curly hair, the short coily hair with tight curls. I can't tell if it's just maybe the color of this one, but I would like to see maybe a little bit more detail. I know it is very stylized, but I feel like the detail is kind of lost on this one a little bit. Added some presets for their faces. They all do kind of feel like they have pretty big eyes though, and they all seem very like dough-like. I definitely would love to see a little bit more variation on that, not just in the colors, but like the actual shape of the eyes. We don't have specific items for a hair salon, but with the variety of items available in build mode, I was able to create a space that feels like a salon. But now they have a building, so now it makes me think, and they're like actually talking. I wonder if this is actually usable or if this is just kind of like movie magic. Asymmetric bob. Then we have the short waves. I don't know what it is about like loose side plaits, but I feel like they don't ever look good in video games. I feel like no one has ever done a loose like side plait good. This one is giving like 90s Justin Timberlake. The bubble braids, a jean jacket for your more alternative parafolk. Again, from the beginning, I'm glad they're thinking about different styles and like different fashion. That is everything that I personally missed, and you also maybe missed about Paralives. Biggest news, obviously, is that it's coming the 8th of December to Steam through early access. And they do have plans for where early access is gonna take them. I'm excited for it still. I still love the art style. I like the way that it's looking at the minute. Build mode is still scaring me. I am still not a builder, even after all these years. But I do feel like the push and pull feature is definitely gonna help me a fair bit. And I'm excited for the interior. Like, I think the interior looks really cool. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope this video was helpful, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.